of the Lord Jesus in the lighthouse. At the end of the day, we're going to do one more prayer point for this house, and we so much believe that the God that answers prayers shall do us good. I want to invite your careful consideration. By the way, next Sunday, and I think this is a good time to keep that meeting in your prayers. If it means social worker will bring the gen, we're going to have a full blast 1 hour praise worship next Sunday, and I'm going to lead prayers for maybe 30 minutes. So from 4 to 5:30. If you want to call it a concert, you want to call it a worship and warfare, 1 hour full blast revamp. If you have not fasted before, this is the week to fast. This is the week to be it. Do you understand that? Yeah, I want, let's send our voice somewhere. Mama was talking about getting to extend our speaker, and I was taking it for a joke, but if there's a time we need it, is now. Let's quickly send a sound somewhere. Hallelujah. All right, 2 Kings chapter 7, and I'll do just verse number 3. If you find me running around this place, bear with me. There is the zeal that has eaten me up. Did I say 2 Kings chapter 3? Chapter 7? 2 Kings chapter 7 and verse number 3. Once again, thank you for making our time to be here. What an atmosphere. What a time of a life we're experiencing here. Now, there were 4 leprous men at the entrance of the gate. And they said to one another, "Why are we sitting here until we die?" The word "until" has been pursuing me all week. Why are we sitting here until we die? I came to register my voice in this atmosphere tonight, asking a question: are you sitting or stepping? Ignite City Global. Those that will have the opportunity of hearing this message afterwards, and perhaps those that are listening to the sound of my voice outside, are you sitting or you're stepping? You see, friends, there are times and days in our lives when our present situation and circumstances, what we are going through now, becomes more dangerous than what we are afraid of tomorrow. Do you understand what I'm saying? There comes a time where 22nd day of March 2026, and the things you're going through, the things that are bothering you, they become more dangerous than the possibility of greater danger in 2028. And I beg you to hear me, whether you're a sinner or a saint, whether you're poor or rich, whether you're married or single, whether you're here or there, that you get to a point where you are at a crossroad of certain decisions, where staying where you are is no more an option, and moving forward, no matter how dangerous, becomes a better choice. Do you get what I'm saying? that where you are now, in your finances, in your spiritual life, in your academics pursuit, in your walk with God, where you are now is no longer an option. It's better you step it up and die than to stay here and die. It is better you attempt becoming rich and die than to continue like this. It is better you attempt a better relationship with God and you become poorer than you continue in sin like this. I am saying to all of us, from those on the pulpit to those on the pew, from those in church and those outside church, that a day comes in your life when moving forward, no matter how dangerous, becomes a better choice. When changing the narrative, no matter how unpopular, becomes a better choice. It becomes the only logical decision you can take to step forward other than sit and die. Why sit we here till we die? Here in this verse is not just physical location. It is a present situation. Why stay in this disease until I die? Why stay in this sin until I die? Why stay in poverty until I die? I would rather attempt believing God and he fails, or I fail, than for me not to believe in healing. I would rather attempt going to school and I fail than for me not trying at all. That's the idea here. I would rather try to do business and I fail than for it to be said that I do nothing and I die in poverty. That's the situation in this text. They said, why do we sit here? Here is more of a situation than location. And to all of us that are in this house tonight, there is that situation that is your here. All of us are here. We are in the same facility. But I'm not talking about here. I'm talking about your here. Why continue in that state you are in till you die? That's what I'm saying. Why should your inflow continue every day? The biggest amount of money you have is 10K. When will it stop? Why? That's the idea. Why is it that every rainy season, my sickness? It's like that. So the guy said, why stay here? Why stay in a situation that every day you are saying, God have mercy? Why? They asked, they said, why? Why should we continue like this till we die? Why should the elders of the land, become visionless? Why? So in 2 Kings, that's the situation we find ourselves. The people in Samaria, they were in a catastrophic situation, Mama. There was famine in the land, famine to the point that women were killing themselves and killing their children to eat, Yinka. Today, we'll say, okay, Pastor Loafa, now Jeremy Deo, then we'll boil. Tomorrow will pass by. I don't know. You seem like you'll name your child Ochoga. You say, Alpha. Then they boil. Then we go to Pastor Jix's house and we say, oh boy, where's Cholom? You understand? That was what was happening. There was poverty inside Samaria, and then outside they couldn't move. It's more like dung. There's poverty in the village, and around there are bandits. If they say they want to go, they don't know if next mountain you will decide. The Fulanis are there. There are kidnappers. There's supper at home. There are kidnappers around. And then I have a situation. There's hunger at home. There is insecurity at home. There is all manner of crisis at home to make situation double jeopardy. The guys were lepers. So you know where they were relegated to? They were relegated to the gate. Oh God. They were at the center of commerce. They were seeing people. It's like being a beggar at a POS point. Someone is bringing 1 million to lodge. Another person is coming to withdraw 750. And you're there. This was the situation with these guys. So they woke up one day and they talked to themselves, 3 of them. They said, guy, it's not enough that we're leprous. It's bad enough that we have been pushed to the gate of the city. We can't go in because we are declared unclean. We can't go out because we do not know what we are going to meet. But she not like this, we go day. That's when they did that song. Yeah, that's when they did that song. That's the question they asked. Now like this, we go day. It's because you don't read your Bible. So many of you, the secular song. No, say now like this. Oh, I feel my help coming. They were at the place of commerce. Oh God, one of the days we were sweeping here and I saw someone drive a car from ITF. I guess he might be a driver or something. Black tinted car. He was cruising in air condition. Maybe he came to drink kunu and he will go back to the office and park the car. And he will come back to Amwa. Mama. Gosh. If he was in this service to just ask, Shana like this. I told you, I was telling Mama on our way here, how one of the days I asked a boy if he has been to wildlife here, their backyard. And he said, Eric, he has never. You can trek to wildlife. This is his environment. He has never. You guys do not have an idea what we are up against. They ask these questions. Is this house we are going to end? Don't worry. Every message I'm dropping in this place is well calculated. It's well thought out. Words have power. They are hanging. This night, someone might be in his room. They will become restless. They do not know. It's some guys that have come and they have released words that will, it's the same thing brokers do. They will call your name, you are in the city. They will say, this marriage will not work. This marriage will not work. One mama in the village, this marriage will not work. Before you know it, you are just angry with your wife. Today, spiritual herbalists are here to say, this go work, this go work, this go work. Do you understand? So people will now get restless, just the way men get restless at home and they will leave their wives and go to a joint and get a side chick. Tonight, one man will leave side chick and go back home because we're going to pray. Yeah. We have to understand how these things work. They were at the gate of the city, but they were lepers. 4 of them were outcasts. They were ceremonially unclean. They have been forgotten by men, but they were not forgotten by God. Last week, Pastor Carrington told us that he's been praying. It may have seemed that the government forgot them, but you see, God had remembered this place. And you will see. I told the pastors, I said, before our eyes, in the next few years, we're going to see. It's no jokes. I'm not in a rush. We are going to physically see. But in their desperation, let's bring this service to a near conclusion. They have a clarity that others did not have. Like my brother, he's been coming. Last Sunday he was here. The first thing he told me, he said, sorry, I couldn't come on Thursday. I was busy with work. There are people that have clarity. He was leprous, but they had clarity. They were out of the city, but they had clarity that people in the city did not have. Because the famine was affecting everybody. But these 4 guys had a different mindset. They didn't know God has a plan. They said, shall we sit here until? I'll go study the etymological meaning of that word, until. And so, from here, the narrative changed. And the story reveals to us three principles I would like for us to see as we get ready to pray. The story reveals three powerful principles about the decisions that will define your destiny. You see, guys, not making a decision is a decision. Do you understand? Yeah, not making a decision is a decision. So one of the things they decided to do was to diagnose the situation. They didn't sugarcoat their reality, First Lady. They didn't look at their circumstances and then throw a pity party. It's because we don't have a commissioner. It's because, it's because, no, they didn't do that. They looked at their situation with brutal honesty. You see, guys, stop pretending, Ignite, that inaction is safety. The reason why I don't want to go into a relationship is so that I don't want my heart broken. The reason why I don't want to try a business, I don't want to lose money. Inaction is not safety. The reason why we're not going to start a church, we don't know if people will come. Inaction is not safety. How will they come if you don't go? How will the customers come if you don't start the business? So they thought. Because so many people stay in toxic relationship. In broke conditions. In stale spiritual. Why should I even pray? Does God answer prayers? We mistake familiarity, Pastor Yings, for security. You know, you can be familiar with pain. Huh? Mama, you can be so familiar with pain. You know, if you go out and we have a research. If you go out and you ask these people and you say, I am Lawrence Ajik. I want to contest for just not local government. This is just not, right? Yeah, I want to contest for just not local government. You know, I just, if you will vote for me, the way they will look at, I pray they don't stone you. Because you won't want to know how many people had come like that. They would leave us alone. Don't make us no promises. You can become so familiar with disappointment to the point you think that the next attempt will be like it. But not these guys. Not these guys. I'm saying, are you sitting or you are stepping? I came to ask you a question. Because sitting was a slow form of suicide to them. They were already dying, by the way. So they asked, the question we must all ask, where I am, is it leading to life? Or is it leading to death? This thing where they do, this habit, when we're doing the ceiling, I went to get mold here. So someone, he had something he called banga. He was drinking a drink, night banga. And he was asking for something. So they brought the keys and they showed a picture of cancer. And then that those who do it are liable to die. So he had night banga here. He has his cigarette here. So I said, I want to buy for you more. So he said, why? I said, I noticed you want to die fast, so I want to help you. Then he hissed. So I said, how much is it? He said, leave me. He said, leave me now, they send you. I'm not saying no, they don't send me. So by the time he calmed down, and I said, okay, my name is Obed Kure. I'm a Christian. I used to do this. I know it's not your will that you're doing this. He was almost crying, much like your friend who said there's nothing, that music guy, and you've not been following him up. I'm telling you. So where you are now, the question to ask is, what leads to change? Is it leading me to life? Or is it leading me to death? I always tell people, if you remove heaven, is this the best life you want to live? If you remove hell, is this how you want your life to be? If you're sitting in a situation that has no future, the first life-changing decision you will make is to admit it. This is where they do no go carry me go anywhere. Do you understand what we're saying tonight? Yes. This lack of reading, I told Esther when I was leaving home, you can't want to do medicine and you don't like reading. No. You can't want to do ministry and then reading and praying and fasting is not your friend. It's not. Now something else you want to do. Because we can't change a situation we have refused to name. All of a sudden I feel like I'm talking to my people. I came to be evangelistic tonight. Why sit we here? The second point is what I call the logic of faith. The decision to weigh your options. You notice the two things they did? They didn't have a vision from heaven. An angel didn't come to say, my daughter, my daughter. There was no chariot of fire. There was something like that. There was no preacher in tie. There was no music people in ash clothes. No, they were not. They didn't have no prophetic anything. All they did have was simply their God-given logic. They did what business people will do, Pastor Yings. They said they ran what they call risk analysis. I'm already dying, sitting down. Going forward, I don't know what will happen. It's better I attempt and I die than to sit down. Then they exchange. You know, some of you have been invited to gigs. You thought it was going to be like that until the guy is coming back. They came back with something. They say, hey, Jesus. And something been they tell me you. Something been they tell me you. Like those of you that refuse to come for choir rehearsals the day we ate. Monday, you remember that day now? There was plenty food. UD brought flags. And then some people didn't come. So someone said, nah, they were not come on the chop. Enoch was not around. He went somewhere. So they ran a risk analysis. Oh God. 3 guys. We had 3 wells here. We started digging. They did 1. They did 2. So when they made the 3rd one, there was still stone there. Have you seen it? Then they just decided to start chucking it forward under. And they hit water. Because if they have left, have been the same stone. So they just cornered their digger and they got water. They ran a risk analysis. It's better you try again and you fail than not to fail, because die in a die. I would rather trust God and I fail than to refuse praying and see those who are praying having their lives change. Hi. They didn't have a vision. They just said if we enter the city, there is famine. If we stay here, we die of hunger. Do I stop and adopt to a better lifestyle, or I continue and die like this? Guys, you see, before cancer, sometimes I will take 3-4 bottles of Coke in a day. Now, if I come to your house, you give me Coke. I'll pray first for God to touch your heart, so that you understand if I say I won't take. If I want to take, I will have to dodge. Go far from the house, then buy. When I drink, when it's left over, if I come, I know Stacy will finish it before any other person will see it. Should I continue like this and die? Or start taking rich Zobo and leave? That's what I'm talking about. I'm not just talking about leprous people or sinning people. No, I'm saying even in your life. You come to a point where you decide. Like these boys that are playing snooker every day. If you just help them understand that 200 times 365 days. You don't know how much money. That That if you just start saving 200 naira every day and refuse to play snooker, the money you will have during Christmas, you will go Valada. You will go Valeno. You will chill with the big boys. Do I stop and have better? Or do I continue and die like this? Let's go. The worst that can happen when we go, we're going to meet bad Syrians. If they spare our lives, we'll live. If they pie us, die, we must die. You see, faith is not the absence of risks. It's not the absence of fear. It's trying regardless. The worst has already happened. Someone will say, I've seen 99, one no go kill me. Is that how they say it? Yes. That's what they did. Number 3, they decided to now take a move. The next verse will say, at twilight. Someone say twilight. When the light was not so bright. It wasn't day, it wasn't night. At twilight. They arose. Okay, I'm getting it now. Yeah. Then they started moving towards the Syrians. They started moving towards change. The things I used to do, I do it no more. The places I used to go. Is there a better tomorrow ahead? I do not know. But the things I used to do, I do them no more. They are not born again, but they are not sinning anymore. They are not holy, but they still go to church. They are not rich, but their mindset is beginning to change. They don't have a family yet, but they are already planning for their children at twilight. It's not so clear. They have not been to Jos. They are thinking of when I go to America. The mind is beginning to change. Oh, some of you, you were not like my friends in the village. Before they get to see these things, the guitar Enoch is playing and the drums, they will go and get gongomi. Yes. Before TV, there's this thing they do with kara. I am hoping to go back to the village one of these days. There's a way they build kara, they will build it, then they will look for leather and put it as screen. They are in the village, but they are already creating. At twilight, they are not certain. Those that were doing it now are TV owners because they just don't have TV. There is light in their village. Some of them just don't have TV. They have satellite TV in the village. They moved at twilight. They started building a multi-million business from 1K. Oh God. Some of you want to know our story. There was a point, Mama was doing perfumes. Then another point, she started doing yaji. Then another point, in all of those things she was doing, in all of those things she will eat kuding jari and riba at an instant. Right now, I won't tell you how much. And there is nowhere close to where she's going. And it's the same thing with you. At twilight, something you're just trying something. That's how it happens. You're not so clear if this is the thing, and you're not doubtful if that is not the thing. You're just moving. You're just trying. You're just moving anywhere, at least anywhere but here. That's the decision I want you to take. I'd rather die trying than here. I will change the situation than die doing nothing. They moved. It was the darkest part of the evening twilight, and they started moving. You must move before you see the full light, is what I'm trying to tell someone. Peter was moving. He didn't know Jesus was in the sea with him. It was while he started sinking that a hand held him. Some of you are too scared of failing, and I don't know why. What if today I say I'm born again and tomorrow I fall? Until then, choose to change. Hey! What if you succeed? What if it becomes real? What if in the process of he made me halfway? Was that why David said, you have to? Oh, even more than halfway. You have to try. It's twilight. But try anyway. Move anyway. Don't wait for perfect conditions. That's what this young preacher is trying to say. Don't wait until you see the full light. You see, vivid example is the day we saw this place. It's my spirit that accepted it. The smell here almost choked me to death. You don't know what rotten Irish in an enclosed house with maize. This house was a mess. M-E-S-S. Choking. Plus, there was a pit toilet and the door was connected to this house. Sorry to our audience that are watching. Then I imagine by the time we have 50 people and they all go to pee. And my mind said, no sir, this is not the place. You have told Sila to get you a shop. The more my senses wasn't making sense, the more my spirit was saying yes. I went and I told Mama, I needed her to come and say no, so that I'll know God is leading me. Do you understand? Yes. By the time she saw it, I love the place. I say, on serious people. Do you understand what we're saying? Twilight. Then I told the guy, we're going to pay on Friday. And 50 naira to these regards, I didn't have. And they were asking for almost 500,000. Whatever happened, I'm talking to you about taking step at twilight. When we did paparazzi Maya, we did because we fixed ceiling. We thought we had worked. We said we're starting church on Sunday. Twilight. What you guys do not know is Saturday night till 10 p.m. Jigs was here. Me, I was snoring, sharing post. Tomorrow we start a church in Dong. I was smiling. I was responding to people sending me blessings. Twilight. By the time he sent one dirty video like that, the place is taking shape. I didn't like it. When I entered Sunday, I was blown. I said, wow. I am saying, move. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Just take a step. Oh, on Thursday, this place was dusty. Twilight. And I was weeping and hoping we'll still come and do just like that. And go. By the time I came, some people just take a step. The place was already mopped. That's what we're seeing. It's in your mind that you think that things would be the way you left it. Not knowing that God is coming from the other side of the horizon. Let's say it wasn't about coming to a dusty place. It was about something to do with money. Are you getting what I'm saying? They rose at twilight. You read Genesis 22. You find out that when God asked Abraham to go sacrifice Isaac, the Bible says early in the morning. Before people started saying it, before they asked, where did they go? You go that church where they do shebe. So he came before service started. Do you understand what we're saying? At twilight. Before the voices, dissenting voices will just say, Yusuf, you want to try. He has gone ahead already. Then the last point, then we pray. I somewhat believe this is the lighthouse. Not because we have perfect conditions, but because we have taken a decision like the 4 leprous people. We do not have the best of sound. We do not have the best of welfare. But we are responding to something. We'll rather attempt creating change than to sit down and die doing nothing. Those of you that did theater, Eric and Sila. This is where the plot twisted. You guys call it plot twist, right? This is where the intersection. This is the meeting point. To tell you that you can't save yourself. Either as a sinner, a broke-busted person, or someone with dreams, you can't save yourself. As they moved towards the enemy camp, God caused the sound of their feet. He started amplifying it. He caused the people on the other side to hear something that is not physically real. Most of they were lepers, meaning their toes had been chopped off, right? So it won't even make the kind of sound mine will make. You see, leprosy is when life starts coming to a particular part of your body. And then they were just four. In my mind, I'm hearing dun 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 dun. That's what the enemy, the guys were crawling in the other camp. Dun 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 dun. Yes. And that's how, prophetically speaking, that's what God is doing in some of our lives. Yeah, you are just trying to struggle your thing. Do the best you can do with the best you have. And God is amplifying your voice at the other part of the story because you can't save yourself. They panicked and they felt like living. They were hearing voices of chariots. Boom, 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 boom. The leprous men were scared. The people in the city. Will you help me tap your neighbor and tell them what you're afraid of is afraid of you? Come on. Yeah, come on. What you're afraid of is afraid of you. What you're afraid of is afraid of you. They kept moving. They kept moving. And by the time they got to the end of the horizon, they noticed that all the while, what I was scared of, nothing did there. The Christian life, by the way, is not boring. Jesus is the reigning thing in town. It's not boring, Sila. Like, God is not saving us to bore us out. They discovered that church sweet. They discovered that it's not about anything that I have that they want. It's about my life. They discovered something different. Then they lounged. They were Nigerians. Opportunity come but once. They ate. Mama, they ate. They got constipated. They started belching. Oh, Felix, remember, suya kwanta in Holshe. That time we'll eat. When we belch, we'll now hit our stomach and say, Nama kwanta, Nama kwanta. We are consoling ourselves. Nama kwanta. That was what they did. They were eating. They noticed that they won't finish this thing. They say, this is not about us. Oh God. They were eating. We said, this is not. And they said, this is not a good thing. God didn't bring us here just about ourselves. We have ate and there is no place. He said, let us go back. See, this is a lighthouse story. I told us we're trusting God for one man. God gave us the guy. He said sound. He came. His boss is still here. As a matter of fact, we have gone into our gist. He has enough sound. He said anywhere. So now I said, okay, we have a program in Berkeley. He said, sir, we have enough equipments. See his boss there. He's coming back to church. He had to take permission to go for a meeting. See his elder brother seated in black. Turn and just help me celebrate him. It's not story. Yeah, that's DJ Tasa brother. He said, it's a day of good news. And while we were outside talking, he was telling people, this is now our church. So one man passed and said, may Bishara. So I asked him. Then he said, sir, as much as I used to do this thing here, every now and then I'll use my sound, do party, do stuff, and gather young people. Then I'll call a man of God to come and speak. I said, okay. That's why I stayed outside. I stayed outside till it was 4. I came. I said, okay. So he told me what architect told me about these people don't like themselves, mistourism. That was his daughter. Ah, yeah. You guys do not understand what God is doing here. I said, okay, mistourism, that's your daughter because I brought it. He said, yes. He said, when she won, every other person would get the gift and go. So he told her to convert hers to outreach. So she was giving back. They have done an event in Kadima Market, outreach. They have done one here. They have done in 3 places. I can't remember the 3rd place. So I said, why do they? He said, yeah. Because in the midst of all this hustle, I do lights, I do sound, I do this, I do the other. I just ensure I find a place for Jesus. Then one of the guys stopped and told him, though, I need something, church. Today, they just got back. As a matter of fact, he just changed. But he'll check next Sunday. I am saying all of this to say one thing. This guy said, today is a day of good news. If I stay quiet about these things, we are not fair. So they went back and they told the city, come and see. The question I want to leave with us, you remember in chapter 6 or chapter 5, a prophet by the name of Elisha has said, by this time tomorrow, oh God, I feel my help coming. A shekel of barley will be sold. Everybody said it was a lie, including church elders. And how was that going to happen? Through unlikely people that God and the system has placed somewhere. The system gave up on them. They were going to die. God said, no, it's through you. We call this place a lighthouse because we know that the city in the nearest future is going to look this direction and have a template for how to transform a community. That's why we're here. If you don't understand this prophetic tapestry, you will be lost. You will not understand. You will think it's not a gamble. And then the deliverance of a city, mama, came through the hands of 4 leprous people. That's the power of salvation. Let's stand. Let's stand. Leprosy is not just a skin disease. It's when life stops going to certain parts of the body. And without apology, this area is leprous. There is a part of development that has not reached here. There's no reason why people should be using pit latrine in 2026. Like, do you hear what I said? No reason. Open defecation is a no-no in 2026, not in a capital city. We were coming, I told Mama, I said, these children come to school and without signboard, what they see, welcome to school, is grace. I said, is a no-no. Do you know the picture you're living in the minds of these innocent people? That the first thing they are coming to school is not even the flag of Nigeria to look up to. They are seeing graves. I showed Jirit the school. I don't know if she slept well, but God did something in her heart. But it's not for anything. It's for the glory of the Lord. Ya Yesu ji aduata ganina nazo gareka. Ya Yesu ji aduata bakove yazega gareka. Ya Yesu ji aduata ganina nazo gareka. Ya Yesu ji aduata babu kove wezega gareka. One more time. Ya Yesu gamuna munzo gamuna hey munzo gareka eles kapanelele. Ya Yesu ji aduata babu kove wezega gareka. Now we're going to pray. Ya Yesu ji adua